I want to explain, my goal is to explain what really Rav Shimon Shach did, what he said, and to relate to it the Besmeir, the Pri Chodosh. He signed myself. Oh, go ahead. Guy, do you have papers?
No.
Here. One of the things I want to do next year with Rosh, next year means after Pesach. I want the whole Yeshiva to learn one sugya. All the rabbis learn one sugya. Whatever I learn, everybody must learn. All the rabbis. All the classes have to learn what I teach. You learn more mefoshim, but it has to be the same subject. That's one thing I want everyone to be involved.
Does that mean like from morning till night?
No, just the mornings. Just the morning. And doesn't have to be the whole morning, it can be part of the morning. Depends on your level. Part of it. But at least you have to be involved every day in the evening.
How many pages will it be to be caught up with you?
I'm giving papers at the beginning of a sugya. People can be caught up, that's all. The problem is beginners, people which don't know how to read so well, takes them more time. So I try to balance in between the best we could. That's one of the reasons we had this amount. Everybody's learning the same because some beginners need more fundamentals or basics. But at least part of the day, an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, people should learn the Iyun. You should know in the Yeshiva years ago, they used to have an afternoon, not afternoon, at night. Late at night, they used to learn also Iyun. Guys used to review and learn Iyun, say the third night, Leil Shishi. You were Bach in Yeshiva here?
Every night is Iyun and every Leil Shishi.
Every Leil Shishi, all night.
Every night was Iyun and Yeshiva.
So, it's a reason for it, because when you learn, you have to put your all energy to figure out. There's a lot of details, a lot of thoughts. You have to put your energy to understand. It's not just you read a piece, small piece of Gemara and go on. You have to put energy to understand, but it's not the same like a piece of you. Okay. So my goal today is to explain Rav Shimon's Kop's, what does he say? Explain Rav Shimon's Kop, and to relate the Beis Meir and others and some other different informations to what Rav Shimon's Kop is saying. Rabbi, do you have? Good. The Gemara says, the Gemara says, the second case of law. Somebody gives money to a woman, and he says, marry with this money to Ploni. Now, the woman agrees. Does the man says, okay, now do you agree? I got Mekudeshes lePloni beKedash Moise Yisrael? Or the husband, when he hears about it, he goes over and he says, oh, somebody gave money for me. I agreed, okay, you should be married for me. Doesn't say anything about it in the Gemara. It seems to be some machloket rishonim. Rashi says that the middle person that gave the money, he's a messenger of the husband. So if he's the messenger of the husband, obviously he's not only giving the money, he's also saying to the woman, you're married to me. And not to me. You're married to Ploni. Okay. The Rambam says that when a person hears about it, the husband says, I got Mekudeshes with the money the other middle guy gave. Okay.
Rabbi?
Yes.
Why does it have to be that he gives the money? If he's a shliach, it has to be that he was the one who gave the money. The shliach can't give it to him.
I'm going to explain this. I'm going to open the subject right now. Listen carefully. So now, according to Rashi, that the middle guy gave the money and he's a messenger. and he's the one that says, "Aram Kodesh Shli for the Aram Kodesh Ploni. You're going to be married with this money to Ploni, and I'm a messenger to marry you." But he's giving the money from his own pocket. Now I want to explain this concept, very important. Let's explain this concept. This is very important in order to start the sugi. According to Rashi, that the middle guy is a messenger of the husband. Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi. Come closer, closer. How did you get that? Okay. You gave it to him. Thank you. Okay. This is how I want to open the shiur, guys. The opening is a very simple opening. The middle guy is the messenger of the husband. The middle guy is the messenger of the husband, and he says to the woman, "Aram Kodesh Shli, you're married to me." The Ploni. But Rashi says the money is owned by the middle guy. Now normally, when I send you to do something, I say, "Go buy me something in the store," and you're going to buy it for me. But wait a second, but you didn't send me with money. Hey, you didn't give me a credit card, you give me no money. He said, "I'll have to spend the money. I'll probably reimburse me later on." So I'm lending you the money. So I'm really giving the money for what? So now when I go to the store and you need to give me a credit card and I'm using my credit card, my money, what happens here? Guy says, "Go buy me a cake." And you right away have a Kiddush right after the cake. "Please do me a favor, run to the store and buy me something." You run, pay, you give me money. So what do? You spend money and you're assuming that he's going to pay you back.
You're hoping.
No, he's not going to pay you back. For sure he's going to give you back. Right? And more than that, maybe he's not going to pay me back, I want my money back. And the woman will not be married. I'm giving the money to the woman because he's going to reimburse me. If he's not going to reimburse me with money, I'm not just giving presents. Maybe no. Maybe he's my friend. I love him. He's an old guy, old geezer, never got married. And I found this beautiful woman that he wants. Well, I'm right away going to jump and give money for him. So then what happens normally? In a normal case, when the middle guy gives money and he owns the money, simple is like what the Yad Ramah says. Everyone has the papers, and turn to the second page on top. This is the base mate, brings the Yad Ramah. V'ulam Svas Ramah. The Ramah holds like this. The Ramah says that when I send a messenger, when somebody gives money or get that he owns the get. He paid for the sofa, for the piece of paper. It costs money to divorce. A few hundred shekels. It costs money. You have to pay the piece of paper, the parchment.
Give it as a gift these days.
Right, give it as a gift, okay. Yeah. But you have to pay for it. The bottom line is, at the end of it, they give you a shovar, you have to pay no post office, you have to pay money. So now, the middle guy, he paid for the bill of divorce. Svoras HaRamah Muskeles. He says, everybody agrees to the Ramah. The Afim name the Shliach, the Yoy Stoma. Even we're going to say that a messenger that gives Stama. Stama, what does Stama mean? I can't see from far. This is Adi?
Yes.
Oh, come here, come in. Oh, come on. Just came back from America, right? Shh, come close. Here's the paper, right away jump into it. Sit next to your friend, next to you. Baruch haba, you look different. Sit down. Okay, Baruch haba. So the Yad Ramah says like this. An ordinary person that gives money, a shliach, a messenger that gives money, the yoim stama midi, something chashuv is considered ki'ilu ziko tchilo, as if he married first la meshaleach, the sender. I want to explain this concept before we start the Shimon Shkol, to understand what's going on. The simple way of looking on things, when I said something, please buy me something in a store, so I'm sending you, or please marry this woman or please divorce this woman for me, even though I didn't give you money and you're spending money on your own, what is the simple meaning is?
You're gonna pay back.
What? Pay back. So paying back means two options. Or I'm giving you as a gift, or he's going to pay me back. Right? Two options. He said, go do it. I didn't give you the money. So now two options going to be. Or you're spending money thinking that he's going to pay you back, or you're giving it as a gift. But who are you giving it as a gift? To the sender or to the receiver? So the Rama says the simple way it works ping pong is as if the messenger gives the money for the sake of the sender. He's acquiring the money to the sender, and then he's giving it for the sake of the sender to the receiver. That's a simple way it works normally without specifying anything else. Okay, so this is the beginning move in the chess play.
Matana to the sender.
If the middle guy gives, the shliach gives money on his own pocket,
Who's he giving the matana to?
he's giving it to the receiver,
The assumption
to the woman, to the woman to divorce her, to marry her, or whatever it is. The assumption is, what is the simple assumption? That I'm giving it for his sake means it's the sender's money, he's going to burst me later on as a gift, and I'm giving it for his sake means he owns it and he bangs it back to me, and I'm just his messenger to give it to the receiver. This is the normal way where it works according to the Yad Rama. And he says that's how it works by divorce. So even if I send a messenger to divorce somebody's wife, somebody sends divorce my wife, and he give money to the messenger. The messenger has to spend money for the sofa and this and that. Simply it works without explaining anything that he's acquiring the paper and the sofa's money to the sender, and he's giving it to the woman for the sake of the sender. That's the one normal. With stama. What's the word stama means?
He accepted upon himself.
What does stama means? Ordinary. Ordinary case, plainly case. That's a plainly case. So now, knowing this, being as may, taking this as a for granted thing, let's go back here to ourselves. Now let's go back to the Yeshivah. Okay? This is the way I want to start the Yeshivah. To understand what really his big Kiddushin. Yes, Rabbi Shimon.
you have to pay the sender.
Again?
You have to pay the messenger, the middle guy.
The middle guy.
He's got to pay him back.
No, the sender needs to pay the middle guy back. Or he gives him as a gift. But who is he giving as a gift? He's giving as a gift to the sender. The messenger is giving, the agent is giving as a gift, or is planning a loan, or is giving either way. But he's giving it for the sender, and he gives it to the receiver. For the sake of the sender, he's giving it to the receiver. What does it mean for the sake? It means he acquires it to him, and he gives it back to the woman or to the receiver. Yes?
Who acquires it?
The sender, the messenger acquires it to the sender. He's makne, mezake, to the sender, and he gives it right away to the receiver on the behalf of the ownership of the sender.
Even though the sender doesn't have
Even though the sender didn't speak about it, but he sent him, even though he give him money, he didn't speak about the terms of the condition he's going to pay him back as a gift. Even if he didn't say anything, because you know what? I give it as a present. I'm not going to get it back. It's my love, my friend. I want to get married. He's an old guy. There's a woman I want to give the money my tummy for. Yes.
If the shliach,
What?
if the shliach says before,
One second. He picked up the hand before. From the heaviness of the hand, it's holding a long time. Yes,
The Rama.
Yes.
This would be a din misuyam and shlichus.
Again?
Din misuyam and shlichus.
No. He's saying a general stomach, people's das.
But it's a prat and shlichus.
No.
So why is not a smachta?
It's not a smachta, it's the way normal people think. When I send you, run, buy me something, and I didn't give you money, obviously, and he needs it right now, so you don't have time to call anything. So obviously you jump ahead and do it for
you
him.
bring the base din and be tovei the money.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
prat and shlichus.
Yes.
non-slippers.
What?
He said
I'm the
practice.
shliach. He didn't pay me back. I can bring him the base din.
If it's a loan. But let's assume that you give it as a gift. You're allowed to give it as a gift. But the normal way how a gift works is not I'm giving a gift on my own to the receiver. The gift works that I'm giving it to the sender, and I'm giving it for his sake to the receiver.
I can bring him
That's the way, that's the Kiddush. The Kiddush is not the point that I'm giving you as a gift. That's his desire, as a loan, as a gift. That's not the point. The point is when I do give it as a gift, or I do it, what works in my mind? That I'm just giving it to the receiver, or I'm acquiring it to the sender, and I'm giving it back to the receiver. Is a ping pong understood automatically ping pong or not? Yes, Rabbi.
If the shliach will tell the woman, mefurish, this is not the mekad, the mishaleach's
Exactly, very good.
And
This is our case.
One
more. Two more, that's really the point.
And I know that
Yes.
your mekadesh won't pay me back.
Yes, that's our case.
And also, I'm not being makne him the money. I'm not.
That's the point, that's all. So that's a very good. Wait, that's.
In this case, the Ritva would agree.
This is the point. One
The
second.
Ritva would agree
The Rashi.
that you need to come on to the din of Eretz Canaan.
No! That's what Shimon Shkopter denies that. That's exactly the point. You got to share. No! The Chiddush of Shimon is no. Not like that. This is the Chiddush. Listen carefully. That's why Bedavka started as king forward on the plate here, the chess plate. Odd, whatever. Odd to king forward. Odd like paired, single. Pawn. Pawn the king forward.
Four. It's a space on the board.
Okay. It's hard for me to say this word to repeat it.
Pawn to king 4.
But we're starting now the sugya bedavka this way. Okay? Yes, Rabbi.
If he did send him, if he
You asked him before I saw it. He picked up his hand before that.
Yeah,
Yes.
if it was not a shaliach,
Yes.
and he did it on his own,
Yes.
does it also work the same way when he gives the money?
If it's not a shaliach,
And he's completely on his own, he's giving the money to marry his friend, he knows his friend is going to
Right.
but his friend did not send him.
Right.
Does it work the same way?
Machlokas Rishon. This is part of what we learned today.
Okay.
Let's see that. So that's why this an opening to understand what's the problem and how we solve it. Yes.
Rabbi's Kiddush is that if this Goldstein is the basis of why the law is what it is.
No, we're going to go into all of that. This is where we want to go. First, we're going to.
But
We have that in our mind that that's the way it normally works outside of here, and now we have to understand what Rav is saying. Investigate. This is what we want to investigate. That's what Rabbi Yisrael was pushing, and that's what he gets. Listen carefully. Comes Reb Shimon Shkop, and he brings an argument between Rashi and Ritva, and he asks a very simple kasha on the Ritva. Why the Ritva doesn't agree to Rashi. To understand the kasha well, in order to understand the answer well, we added this concept of the Yad Ramah. Okay, so now we're going to read the question inside. People have Reb Shimon Shkop, Rabbi Chidush Reb Shimon Yidako, and I mentioned before to the other students that you have to know there were two schools in Europe, two major schools in Europe, Reb Shimon Shkop and the Birka Shmuel. Two schools. We, in the Diaspora Yeshiva, we come from the school of the Birka Shmuel, not from his school. But many yeshivas in Israel follow the school of Reb Shimon Shkop. They barely even look in the book of Rabbi Kashmir, it's too hard. It's a whole mindset of thinking. He's basically more in the philosophy of things to explain it. Rabbi Kashmir is more laws and definitions. There's a big philosophy behind that, even deeper. But that's the two schools. We now today, Rav Henech was Reb Shimon Shkop. Rosh Yeshiva.
We're only bringing up Shimon Shkop to understand the time and the Shmuel.
Afterwards, next week, it's Hashem, the last year of this month, when it's still the Kashmir. Reb Henech was the son-in-law of the son of Naftali Trop. Naftali Trop was the Rosh Yeshiva in Chofetz Chaim in Europe. And they're all Talmidim and group of Reb Shimon Shkop. Yes, so that's from that school. So it's two different schools.
David was
The Rebbe learned by Rebbe.
Ben learned by Rav Henech many years. That's his main Rebbe. But he also learned Rabbi Zimmerman for 18 years. 18 years. So he brought to the Yeshiva Birka Shmuel. We learned both, but he pushed the last few years very much in Birka Shmuel. Okay, we're going to learn both. That's what we're doing here. Both. 18, it's both. But it seems to be the Rebbe, in the end of his life, he held that Birkas Shmuel is deeper and stronger than Enzer.
That's not what he told me.
What?
That's not what he told me.
So what he told you?
He told me the reason why he's doing that is because it's too hard to teach rabbinic system, and the Birkas Shmuel is easy to teach.
Oh,
it's more
I'm happy there. Good. But I also heard from my father that when he learned both, he was much more mispoke from Birkas Shmuel. He says, wow, now I understand the Birkas Shmuel. He was happy to understand the Birkas Shmuel. You'll see. He learned both. Definitely learned both. But now we're going to learn the Shimon Shkar. So now let's read inside. Real question. Eilach Mone, V'iskatshi leploni mikodesh midin evet knaim. Pirish Rashi shu shlucho lekatsho. Rashi says that the middle guy was a messenger, or was an agent of the sender to marry this woman, but he owned the money.
It's his explanation of Rashi. It's not what Rashi says.
Rashi explains.
Yeah, but right, he added the word, the function to the Kaddish. Rashi didn't say that.
Right, right. But it seems to be revision. You're right. V'aritva kosav azerashon. The Ritva wrote in this language. Pirush explanation. Almighty, our Gemara is dealing that the giver is not the messenger, is not the agent of the husband to marry. The middle guy is giving money, his own money, in order that this woman be married to this guy, to this Ploni. The Iyun, this is a punchline. The Ritva says, now, according to my understanding, we can understand the Osiyalom Ibn Knaini, we have to learn from Ibn Knaini. So from those words, the Reb Shimon Shkop understands, Venire seems to, the soil that he holds. The Imo Yoshluchoi, but if it was like Rashi says, according to me, now I make sense, the learning from Ibn Knaini. Seems to be asking, but according to Rashi, that the middle guy, he's a messenger of the husband. Lo hoyotzorich bazid Ibn Knaini. We wouldn't need to come to the law of Ibn Knaini. We don't need to learn this. Again, it's common sense. This is the beginning point. He makes a diuk in inference that there is a machloket between Rashi and the Ritva. Rashi says our Gemara that the middle guy gave money for the sake of the husband. He's a messenger of the husband to marry this woman for him. But the messenger owns the money. The Ritva says no. The middle guy, he gave money on his own money without being a messenger. And now I understand, he says, according to my explanation, it makes sense. What do I have to learn from Ibn Knaini? I need a limud to fill up this concept from Ibn Knaini. But it seems to be, according to Rashi, that the middle guy is a messenger of the husband. He's an agent of the husband. Obviously, the husband can marry this woman. I don't need to come on to the law of Ibn Knaini.
Yeah, but what about
This is an inference that the Reb Shimon Shkop makes, that the Ritva seems to be attacking Rashi. On the basis of that, the Reb Shimon Shkop asked a very strong question. And I want to define the question, work out a patriot, to give it some life, to understand what was the kasha. And this will give us a better understanding what's the answer. Let's see. Comes Reb Shimon Shkop, he says, this is something which is a wonder. Double thing. It's a kasha on the Ritva. The Maimahami b'chaygan zishlichus. He says, hey, what the Ish was saying, that if the middle guy is an agent of the husband, I don't have to come on to the concept of Ibn Knaini. Obviously it works. It's not true. Had we need that the one who marries, the husband that marries the woman, needs to give money, he needs to give money. What does it help? What does it help that the messenger gives the money from his own pocket? The shlichus mehani, the concept of being an agent, the agency helps. Rak shenachshiv, only that we consider hamaseh, the action of the agent, ki'ilu asam hashalech, as if the sender made the action. When the agent does the action, as if the sender made the action. V'imo yo'asam hashalech. Okay, so the agent is like the sender, but now if the sender made the action, alidei kesavachim, through other people's money, OPM, kesachem la'ameh, wouldn't help. Wouldn't help. That's the kasha. The kasha is why the Ritva says that Rashi is off the line. Even if the middle guy is an agent of the husband, the agent only does that the action of the agent relates to the husband. But if the money is not owned by the husband, okay, so the action is as if the husband did. He did the action, but he did an action with other people's money. Can you do an action, marry a woman, can I go in somebody's house, grab his money, and marry a woman for myself? It's not yours. It says not only because of stealing. It's not the point of stealing. You're not the owner to able to have the ability to make acquisition, to make a kinyan. Okay, so now this is what he wants. I want to add to it one thing before you ask him, because I want to get to the point what I want to solve today. What the Shimon Shkop wants to solve. Now let's put in our mind, we know the Adrama. The Adrama says that if I send an agent and he gives money on his own, he's lending me the money, or he's giving us a gift. But who is he giving as a gift? He's giving it to the woman as a gift for my sake, or he's giving it to me. He acquires the money to me, and then he's giving it to the woman for my sake, as an agent for me. So which means...
Without your knowledge?
What?
Without your knowledge?
Without my knowledge, if I agree, after I agree.
What, afterwards or before he gave it?
Could be even after.
Why?
And then could be before.
And the Shas Maisa had it worked in it.
He's
He didn't know it. He didn't know what's happening. How did it happen?
You know what has happened.
What's happening?
Very good, very good. We're going to have to solve this. It's a good point. It's a problem. You have to learn the Rashbo, the Rabbi Nuchanan, the Rabbi Balaitu about it. It's a good point. How does it work? But let's put that aside for a second. I just want to now get the concept of the money, of the acquisition. The Reb Shimon Shkop doesn't understand the Hitva. He says, why, according to Rashi, that the middle guy is an agent? He says, if that's the case, I don't have to come on to Evet Knaim. He says, it's not true. I do need, even according to Rashi, to come on to Evet Knaim. Because even if the middle guy, the agent, is an agent to me, it means his action relates to me. But the money is not owned by me. So I need the concept of Evet Knaim that it works, because true, the agent action relate to me. So I did it good, but I did it with somebody else's money. So if it's not my money, I don't have the power to make an acquisition.
Why?
We'll later on prove it. Okay? We'll prove it from Tum and Kiddushin. That to make an acquisition, you have to be the owner of the money. Otherwise, you're an alien, you're ish zar. Okay? So since that's what he holds, that in order to make a kinyan, an acquisition, you need to be the owner of the money, the buying of the money. I cannot get somebody else's money and make acquisition. I'm not an owner. In order to make an acquisition with the money, I have to be the owner of the money. So if the agent did an action for me, and I don't own the money, it doesn't work, because he owns the money. Wait a second. But according to the Adrama, the simple way it works, that when he gives money, is for my sake, as if he acquired it to me, and he gave it to the receiver. It's not that, even if he's not an agent, and surely, when he's an agent, talk about now Rashi. According to Rashi, the middle guy is an agent. So comes the Reb Shimon Shkop says, if the middle guy is an agent, I don't understand why the Ritva says I don't have to come to Evet Knaini. You still need an Evet Knaini. Why? Because the action relates to the sender, but the sender is using other people's money. What do you mean using other people's money? If I send the middle guy to be my messenger, automatically is as if he acquired me the money as a ping pong, and he gave it back to the receiver, to the woman. So that's the Ritzo's Kasha. No. The Reb Shimon Shkop understood that since we learn from Evet Knaini has to be, and we talk about in all cases, even a case when he's like Rabbi Yisrael mentioned a case, Mefurosh, I'm saying to the middle guy, you're going to be my agent, and give your money, and your money means just to be stayed by you all the time.
And I'm not paying you back.
And it's your money, and it stays yours, and you give it to this woman, only to her. You don't acquire it to me, and you give it for my sake as a ping pong. No, it's never mine. And it's till the last moment, until I go into the grave, it's your money. It's not mine.
You could also say a different
And
thing.
just give her money.
It's not.
And you're my agent to do the action to give, but the money is owned by you, and it's not as if there was a ping pong. There's no, I tell you clearly, I don't want that.
That's pure Evet Kenai.
That's pure Evet Knaini. Why? Because Evet Knaini cannot have a ping pong because there's a hand. He doesn't have a hand to acquire. I'll explain the concept once. I want to just want beginners don't know so much about the concept of Evet Knaini. Let me just explain the concept. Evet Knaini is a non-Jewish slave. A non-Jewish slave, how does he redeem himself? The ownership that the master owns him is totally that he owns his money, which means he can never own any pocket money. All the money that he owns, his clothing, everything that he owns free, it belongs to his master. So if I give, I don't know free, maybe he made a condition now, but any money that he gets from the time that he's a slave and onwards, right away it goes to the master. He doesn't have a hand on his own. It's like his animal, as if, in concept of ownership. So now the Gemara wants to know, the Mishnah wants to know on page 22, how do you redeem a slave? He doesn't have his own money to redeem himself. And if he had money before he was a slave, he wouldn't sell himself as a slave. So he doesn't have money, and now all the money he makes belongs to his master. So the Gemara, the Mishnah says, other people come, OPM. Other people's money, Achayim, people give him money for his sake to redeem. The ping pong, as we mentioned the other time, cannot work here. Because it cannot be that they give it to the slave, and now the slave is redeeming through them to the master, because the slave doesn't have a hand to receive. So this is our exactly classical case, that the other people give the money, never ping pong, they never gave it really to the slave, and he give it for the sake of the slave to the master. The slave will never own the money, he doesn't have the ability to own. They just give pure money directly present to a master to redeem the slave. And the slave will never own it. So there's no ping pong here.
And there's no Maisa either. Without this.
And the slave didn't do even action, nothing.
Action.
Very good. So now let's go back to our case. Our case of Evet Knaini, according to Rashi. This is really Reb Shimon Shkov's kasha. Shimon Shkov's kasha is, why did it was saying that if Rashi says that the middle guy is an agent of the husband, Rashi says that the middle guy is a shliach, he's the agent of the husband, but he gave money from his own pocket. He says, so what? The Ritva says, if the middle guy is an agent of the husband, I don't have to come on to Evet Knaini. Comes Reb Shimon Shkov, he says, not true. I still need to come to Evet Knaini. Because even if the middle guy is my agent, so you only can relate the action. But, okay, so I did. The husband did the action because the middle guy is an agent of the husband. But the husband doesn't own the money, and the husband never owned the money. And there's no natural ping pong. By normal shliach, there's a natural ping pong. But if I want to relate it to the Kanaini, has to be even a case that clearly was a condition, a tanai, that the middle guy, the agent will give his own money from his pocket, would never acquire into the husband. He could, by Evet Knaini, there's no possibility to acquire it to the slave, unless you give it with a Tanai, but according to Rameir, there's no possibility to do that. So, by the Knaini, there's no possibility, yet you can give somebody else, you can give money with the slave never owning it. Also here has to be similar, that when Rashi says that the middle guy is an agent of the husband, but Rashi says, but the money belongs to the shliach, to the agent. What is it really saying? Has to be that he will only have the yad ramah, so that someone, if he owns it, but automatically he owned it once, but now when he's giving it, he's really giving it to the husband to own. So what Rashi is saying, that the messenger owns it, that the agent owns the money. It's not a history, because it was just a history, but the minute he gave it, the husband owned it that moment, ping pong, and then he gave it to the woman, so it doesn't mean nothing that he owns it. It's just a matter of giving us a gift or giving us a loan where we reimburse later on. It's nothing. So when Rashi said the Chiddush of Evet Knaini is that the middle guy, the agent, is giving it, but the money belongs to the agent, not to the sender, he really means to bypass the Yad Ramah. That we don't have the natural case of normal shlichus as a ping pong. Because by Kiddushin can have that. That he's giving it for the woman, but he's giving it to the husband, the money, and as a gift or as a loan, and then he gives it to the woman as a messenger of the husband. That cannot be, because if that's what the Ritva is asking of Rashi cannot be that's the Chiddush of Rashi. Obviously the Rashi is talking about even though that the money is owned by the middle guy forever and ever, and it just went directly to the receiver and never went to the giver, to the sender. It was never owned by the sender as a ping pong. So therefore, the Reb Shimon Shkop asks, even according to Rashi, I still need to come on to the Kiddush of Evet Knaini.
You could still say that it wasn't owned by the sender. If we're talking that the Shliach was Michael, he's Michael. We're talking in the case not where he's not Michael.
No Michael.
It could be called talking Michael.
Okay, well let's say it's Michael. Who said that for
In
what?
other words, he expressed when he
Gift is called Mechila. Who said that for what?
No, he's not giving a gift.
So what is he doing?
The Mechila is not a gift.
So what Mechila, Michael who? Michael they're paying back.
He says, no, but it's not Allah either.
So what is it?
Because he never left the owner's hands. It never left the Shaliach's hands.
Good.
The
So call him Mechila. I can call him Matana. Or Mechila, either way. Why not?
Because Matana means Matana.
No, not Matana to the husband. Matana to the woman.
It can't be.
Why not?
Because
Why not?
the Shaliach.
Yes. You heard what I said? Matana to the woman, not to the husband. Yes, Reb Menashe.
Wait. But then no one's chassid then.
I'm chassid.
No, who's chassid?
The giver of the gift.
Yeah, but
Reb Menashe.
So then you need to have a Kanani.
I know. That's what Shimshkov's kasha. And even according to Rashi, if the agent owns the money means that the husband never owned it.
That's Kanani.
So you need always to come out to it Kanani.
So there's never a Kaddish for that. Why would Rashi? How is that? I give you a gift as
Wait, you hear the solution of Shimshkov.
What's the case of taking one of the place?
Wait, you hear the genius solution of Shimshkov. Yes, Rabbi. One second, the Rabbi they were speaking. Yes, Rabbi Nash.
Not Rabbi, but it says by real Evan Kanani.
The real rabbis feel they're not rabbis. You know. And if you feel rabbi, you're a freaking rabbi. So, no, you have to understand you're a rabbi, but you don't have to feel it.
In the din Evan Kanani, the real Evan Kanani case,
Yes.
there is a din of shlichus.
In the real Evan Kanani, no shlichus.
So the bichlal,
Lechoy, I said. The base mayor has a system of shlichus. With matana like a condition, but I think it is off.
Let me ask that question on Rashi. Let me ask that question on Rashi. Gufa.
Again?
If Rashi already saying shlichus,
Yes.
Rashi asked that question already on Rashi. Where does he get shlichus? Isn't it union between Evan Kanani and Kiddushin?
Repeat.
Bichlal, there's no. You said his question Shimon Shkop is what?
Yes.
That where's the din of Evan Kanani by shlichus because it doesn't do the ping pong thing, whatever.
Right.
Fine. But Bichlal there's no shlichus in Evan Kanani. There's no din of shlichus Bichlal.
No, but he's saying it even if Rashi says shlichus, he's asking even if Rashi is saying shlichus, the Ritva should not knock him out. What's the Ritva's kasha in Rashi? If according to Rashi that the middle guy's an agent, I don't know if they come out to it Kanaini. That's the kasha of the Ritva. Comes from Jews, that's not true. Even if the middle guy's an agent, you still have to come out to it Kanaini. Why? Because the agent owned the money till the last second, till the death. Till he gave it to death kiss of the money, they gave it to the receiver. He gave the money to the receiver and he wasn't free pumped. What?
Because the Evan Kanani can't be Zoyah, but fine, I understood it. But still, there's no shlichus bichlal. What is Rashi saying about shlichus bichlal?
Good, we're not answering that.
No, so
We're not answering that. We're not answering the kasha of also Reb Chaim, who says yes. We're not saying that's not our problem this morning. Who says he agreed later on? We'll have it in the end. It's not our focus now. I want to focus on the fars of the kingdom. What do we have to come on to the Chishur of Chaim? Yes. Wait, before you, Reb David Schwartz. Yes. You wanted to ask a question by, okay, you forgot.
I said, so he is in essence a shliach. In both cases, whether he's giving the gift or whether and Rashi says you need a shliach.
Right. So the Ritva says, if the shliach have to come into the Kanaini, so the Reb Shimshon is not true, you still need.
Because you need as a gift.
Right, because he never gave it over to the husband. He just gave it directly to the, we don't have the Adramai here. Right, by the Kanaini must be.
He owes the money.
What?
If it's a gift and he owes the money, he's a shliach.
He's a shliach.
Either it's a gift, either it's...
So really saying, the Ritva is a knockout to Rashi if the middle guy's an agent and he gave it over to the husband as a ping pong back to the woman. But that wasn't the cash that wasn't Rashi. Rashi said that the money is owned by the middle guy. It means he never gave her to the husband. It means even in the case when he says, all the way, I'm not giving it to the husband, I don't have the stomach here. I'm giving it directly to the woman, like Evet 90. Then you have to come on to Evet 90. Okay. So he answers it, the Yitzchak gives an answer. What was the argument of the Ritva and Rashi? Why Rashi is right and why the Ritva is right? Which means both are right, just the argument how to perceive this concept. So we're going to split between the Maisa Kinyan and the Nesina, which means the Kicha. Kicha Maisa Kicha in a second. So yes.
Why have to come into the base mayor and Reb Shimon's cup? They're all learning from a cloud to a prat. The Kiddushin is a prat. Why can't you learn directly the dinim of Kiddushin, whether it's shayak or not shayak, whose money has to go to the woman? Why have to come on to the general rule? This is what's in general, and in particular it's the Kiddushin. Why did come, what Kiddushin has a requirement, whose money it has to be or not?
Okay, good point. But since seems to be that the Gemara learns as a broad picture.
Why? How do you know that?
The Gemara says it also works by monetary, buying land later on. I don't know if you learned it later on, a few pages, a few lines later on. And so we see that as a general rule. Since the Gemara says
that doesn't have to be applied. So here, there's going to be a Kiddush. The Kiddush doesn't have to fit the general rule. It be a Kiddush.
True, but the Gemara says that Elik Kanani applies to all rules, now in Kiddushin also for that.
So Kiddushin itself, without every Kanani.
So if Kiddushin was special on this specific point, the Gemara cannot put Kiddushin in the same line of Kol Kul of Mecher. So now let's continue on. So now, Reb Shimon Shkop, he defines two types of shlichus. It's basically what I just said now. And then he gives a solution to the Ritva. I'm going to jump right away to what he answers to the Ritva we're reading inside, but first I will say by heart the two types of shlichus. He says like this. There's two types of shlichus. One is an acquisition. I send someone to take off truma or to divorce a woman. There, the action of taking off truma is an acquisition, is a kinyan. Acquisition. Right? Acquisition.
But the action is a kinyan, or a kinyan is a result, not an action.
But you're sending to do a kinyan through an action. But that's what you're sending someone to take off truma means to make a chalois kinyan truma to the kohen. It goes to the kohen. So now, if I see a pile of fruit of my friend, and I go and take off truma, works? No. Without agreeing, it doesn't work. I'm not the owner of the money. Can I send someone, hey, you guy, Oriel, I saw you as a pile of fruit, take off truma, and I says, I'm not the buyer. I cannot do mercy, right? I cannot do it. I cannot send a messenger. He's an alien. So to make an acquisition, you need to be the owner of the moment. Otherwise, you're zar, ish zar. But damaging, killing, murdering, opening a pit, people fall into the pit and die. All those things. Where's Rabbi Yamin? Yamin is here. Wow, far away. So, there, even an alien, there's no owner in alien. The one who does it, it's an action, it's a fact on the ground. So, sending someone to do that without the permission of the owner, of the boss, of the mafioner to do it is done. Just the fact that that he sent you to do that, to kill or to murder, who knows those things, to damage, it just related the sin, the responsibility to the sender. Not always, it's sometimes there is. But by acquisition, if I give authority to somebody as an agent to do, and I'm not the owner, so I cannot give authority, I'm an alien, and the one I give authority to is also an alien. There's no power to do an action. So the action that he did has nothing, is zero. But by Maisa of Nezikim and Hetzicha, there, if I send someone to do it, even if there's no shlichus, is an alien, still that fact is a fact. He killed, he murdered, is damaged. So there, their relationship is only the responsibility you want to transfer, but the action is still there. So he wants to divide the concept by us. Here, and this is what he says, this is where I got the help. He says here, by Kiddushin, I send, according to Rashi, and that's the Ritva's kasha, and that's Reb Shimon Shkop's kasha against the Ritva, when he gives an answer. And he says like this. Here, the husband sent a little guy, an agent, to marry this woman for him, according to Rashi. So now, and he tells him, agent, give your own money as a gift, or whatever you want. I'm not going to reimburse you. Give the money on your own money. I want it to be yours. So now there's no Yad Ramah ping pong that he gives it to me. I told him I don't want it. It's yours. And you give it to the woman and marry her for me. So there I only can relate the action. The action that he gave, the Maisekicha, the Sina of the money, that the middle guy gave the money and he's my agent. So I have a Maisekicha here. Right? I have Kiyikach. The whole Maisekicha, what we learned in the Brit Shmuel the last 6 months, I have the middle guy that he's an agent. So when he gave the money, his own money, and he never acquires it to the husband, there's a Maisekicha here of the husband because he's an agent.
How can it be a
But wait a second.
Without money, how can it be a
Wait. This is what we want to split here. This is the Kiddush of today. Say a big Kiddush today. I didn't say Yom Shlishi. So now the middle guy, the agent, is giving the money. Is really, the middle guy is what? Is doing an action. His action is my action because he's an agent. An action, you can relate. Even I don't own the money. I don't know. If I'm not doing acquisition, just do an action. So the Maisekicha, part of it is a dry Maisekicha that he's taking her. But there is a halacha, need money in Shabbat Pruta. So in the halacha of Shabbat Pruta, then the money has to be, you have to give money, and you have to own the money, and the money has to make an acquisition, a kinyan. This is the problem of the ritual.
Where's the after you own the money?
Wait. Normally. Just, I would say that normally it will be solid. That's it. So come, and he says, wait a second, I don't understand Rashi. If the middle guy is an agent of the husband, I only can relate the action. But since the money is always owned by the middle guy, by the agent, and he gave directly to the receiver, to the woman, so the action is related to the husband, that the husband did an action without marrying or without his money. He says zero. So that's it. So therefore, if Shimon says, I don't understand what the Ritva's problem. Even according to Rashi, you have to come on to Evet Kanaini that although the middle guy is an agent of the husband, and the action relates to the husband, but the husband made an action without owning the money. So you have to come on to Evet Kanaini. So it says no. So what does the Ritva is asking? What the Ritva really is asking, what is the Rashi? So he says like this. The Ritva is asking is that I can split the Maise Nesina of Kiyikach to the Kinyan, to the Maise Kinyan, which by the Maise Kinyan I don't need the husband to give even without it Knaim. They just need the woman to receive. Because the kinyan works from the fact that the woman received money, not as a gift for zero exchange. He gave the money to exchange marriage. And if she doesn't want marriage, she has to give back the money to this middle guy, the agent. So now, the fact that she received money, she has to exchange for the receiving of the money, marriage. That's the power engine, that's the engine of the marriage. That she receives money, and as a receiving of money, she has to give an exchange, she has to give.
But he didn't give money.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That's the money. Listen carefully. We're splitting between the action, the Maise Nesina, and the Maise Kinyan. Listen carefully. He's saying like this. Money. Who said that word? I love that word. Okay, money. I need a lot of money.
You're talking two sides of your mouth.
I know I'm talking to my side of my mouth. I'm going to two sides of my mouth. Actually, not two sides, you're in the middle of my mouth.
No.
The whole mouth I'm talking.
No, you don't understand.
I understand the concept.
No, you don't understand the question.
I didn't explain, I didn't hear your question
I
yet.
get the whole question.
I want to say it over again, and then you can ask the question. Please, let me just finish it. I want to finish the punchline here. Comes Reb Shimon Shkop, and he gives a great solution to Rashi. He says, you know why the Ritva is attacking Rashi? That if the middle guy is an agent, I don't have to come out there with Knaini. Because listen, I split the action to two. The middle guy is my agent, so his dry action of giving the money is like if I gave. True. So I gave the money. But wait a second. I need to acquire the woman with this giving of the money. In order to make an acquisition, I need to be the owner of the money. Good. Who makes the acquisition of the Kiddushin is the woman. It's not the husband. Why? Because what is the power force? The engine that forces the woman to get married is she received money, and if she doesn't give an exchange for marriage, she has to give back the money. So it's just to do the receiver, not to do the husband.
So what do you need to make a Mashiach for?
No, I need a Mashiach in order to make a Maisekicha of the husband. So the dry Maisekicha is the husband. But the Kinyan is not the husband. The Kinyan is the receiver of the woman. So that's why the Ritva is attacking Rashi. The Ritva says, hey Rashi, hey my friend, if you're going to say that the Pshat in our Gemara, Eilach Mon Riskachel Ploini, is that the middle guy is an agent of the husband, even though the middle guy owns the money, so Rashi says the middle guy owns the money and he didn't come on Tevet Kanaini.
Why?
And the Ritva says, I don't have to come on to
Why
it.
does Rashi say
Comes, the Ritva says, what do you mean? What does it mean the Ritva? Rashi is right, that I still have to come on Tevet Kanaini.
Why?
Why? And why? Because the husband needs to be, needs to be the owner of the money to make the acquisition.
Why?
But the Ritva held, no. If the middle guy is an agent, I don't have to come on to it. Why? Because the giving, the dry giving was through the husband, and the kinyan is only the woman receiving money. Only the Maisekin is only the one that receives the money, forces her to give the marriage as exchange. So that has to do just one side, doesn't do the second side giving. And somebody lost the money. A middle guy gave money, he lost the money. It's a sign piece. It's a condition, it's not an essence in the package of the kinyan. So we're splitting between the kinyan and the dry maisenesina. Again, before we said that there are two types of shlichus. One is acquisition. I send someone to take off maisre, truma. I send someone to divorce somebody's wife. To do those things, there's an acquisition. If I don't own the money, if I don't own the pile of fruits, I'm an alien. So if I gave somebody to be an agent, it's zero, because I don't own the money, the fruits, and the agent doesn't own, because it's me, and I don't own the fruits. I'm zero. I'm an alien, my messenger, my agent's an alien, and it doesn't take effect, Kiddushin. Shouldn't work. Oh. So,
if everyone agrees, even
Wait, because I stopped in the answer, I just want to separate it. So therefore he's saying, like this, very simple. The Rashi is saying that
if it's not your money,
Rashi says that I cannot separate between the Maise Nesina and the Maise Kinyan. Both the Maise Kicha and the Maise Kinyan needs to be by both sides. So although the agent is my agent and it's as if I did the action, but reference to the kinyan, I still have to come on to Evet Kanaini, because the kinyan is not only from the woman receiving the money, is somebody gave her money and she received, which means I don't separate the giver between the receiver. But the Ritva says, no, I don't have to come on to Evet Kanaini. And now that if she was going to be turned over, he said the Ritva makes more sense than it makes sense. Why? Not more, but it makes a lot of sense. Because really, acquisition works that when a person receives money, he obligates them all to give back the money or to make the acquisition, to give himself as a marriage, to sell his property. So what makes a sale? If I want to know what makes a sale, what makes the Kiddushin? The receiving of the money from the woman, not as a present, as an exchange for marriage. This is the engine power for her to get married, to agree to get married as a marriage. So you need the husband to take her. It says Kiika Hishisha, but he's my agent. The middle guy gave the money. He's my agent, so the action I can relate to him. The only problem was I cannot relate the acquisition. The answer is the acquisition of the Kiddushin is not the husband. It's the receiving of the woman. When one receives the money, that's the power of engine that requires her to give marriage, otherwise she has to give back the money. So even a middle guy gave that. For that sake, it works. So that's why the Ritva attacks Rashi. Says, I don't have to come on. If the middle guy's an agent, I don't have to come on to the Kanaim. because I separating between ki'ikach, the ma'asekicha, the action of ki'icha, which has to do with the husband, to the kinyan, to the acquisition, which has to do with the receiver. That the receiver receives for the sake of the exchange for marriage, otherwise he has to give back the money. It's two different things. So the kinyan of the Kiddushin is the woman, and only the woman, not the husband. But the ma'asekicha is the husband. So that's why Rashi says the middle guy is an agent. So there's a ma'asekicha, you relate the action to me. And the acquisition has to do with the woman receiving money, not for a gift, to exchange for marriage from somebody else. I don't care. So I have to come out to the Knaim. But the Ritva, no. The same way the ma'asekicha has to do from the husband, also the ma'asekicha of Kiddushin has to do with both. Not only the woman receiving money for the sake of marriage, otherwise you give back the money, also the husband gets attached. The action of the husband, of the giver, it's attached to the power that the money obligates the woman to give marriage in exchange of the money. That's Kiddush. So it makes more sense that the giver is not part of it. It's the receiver, just he receives the money for that sake. That's the engine. To add on, I would say to add on, the husband, the giver to that, that's already a Kiddush. So that's when he says, now I have a solution for the Ritva. The Ritva attacks Rashi. If the middle guy is an agent, I don't have to come on I don't have to come on to the Kanaanite. So he asks, what do you mean? The middle guy's an agent, I don't can relate the action. But if he doesn't, the husband doesn't own the money, he cannot make the acquisition. He says, wrong. The husband doesn't make the acquisition. The receiver that receives money for the sake of exchanging marriage, he is acquisition. So I have the middle guy is an agent to do the ma'asekicha, as the husband did the action of taking the woman. Because he's an agent, the little guy's an agent of the husband, so it's a ma'asekicha of the husband. I have a problem. The acquisition is not done through the husband because the ownership of the money is the middle guy, and he never gave it to me as a ping pong of the I'm sure I don't need so. And that kind never came to me because the ma'asekicha, not the ma'asekicha, the ma'asekicha, the acquisition, is only being done through the receiver receives money. And that obligates money not for a gift, for a goal. That he has to give an exchange for marriage. This is the kingdom. That's the power of the kingdom. It needs to be a giver, it cannot be from Hefker. It has to be from the owner, that the giver doesn't need the owner of the action to do that. It can be somebody else, and I don't have to come out to the Knaini, only the Chiddush of the Knaini. The other Rabbi, this is the Ritzvos Chiddush. That's the Ritzvos Kasha. But Rashi says, no, I do attach the husband, the giver, in marriage and also in buying and selling. I connect for the meister not only that the receiving of the money obligates to sell the land, obligates the woman to give back in exchange of marriage. I connect the giver's action to the power engine, to the engine of the kinyan that he's also part of it. If you ask me, Rashi's harder to say they needed a kinyan. So he was attacking very well. So now we turn the story over. Yes, sir. But that's the machlokes.
Rashi agrees that the husband is the one that gave money. Ritva agrees with that. Rashi agrees that who gave the money? The husband. Just he didn't give his own money. But the husband gave the money.
No!
Yes.
No. The husband did a ma'aser nesiva.
The husband gave money, not his own money, but he gave money.
Yes, ma'aser nesiva.
So if the husband gave money, why does Rashi, what is this new thing that even though he gave money, he needs to give his own money? Why?
Because if you're not talking about just a ma'aser kicha, talking about a kinyan, simple we learned by Truma and by divorce. By Truma, by divorce, if you don't own the money, you cannot do acquisition. You're an alien. The Kiddush is true.
But I gave money.
You are an alien, but you're not the one that does the acquisition. The acquisition is the receiver, it's not the giver.
Okay, but even Rashi agrees that acquisition is the receiver. Just that you need.
Not true. That's not what the Jewish couple learns. No, he learns you need the Kanaanite, that you need the husband to be part of it, and then the Kanaanite is mechadish fulfills that
Talks
function.
about the receiver
Sure.
at the end.
Sure. What he said. We didn't read it. I read it not like this for a week and a half. But I got what he said.
Which paragraph?
I'm going to read it inside now. But some other people can raise their hands. Yes.
The way he's defined, it's all totally in that he's saying there's a thing called the ma'asekicha, because when a statement, the Rebbe said clearly, whenever a statement is made, you have to define it. Is it the Maisa or the Mesubah? So if you say a Maisa Kinyan, you're talking two sides of your mouth. Is it an action or a result called a Kinyan? An action can be an action of a Kinyan. An action is an action. You give them away. The Kinyan, after you did the action, the Kinyan happened. So you can't put the two together. I got what you said.
No. I'm answering. You learning there's a Maisa Kicha and there's a Kinyan. No. I'm saying in one action, you have an action of Maisa Kicha, you have a Maisa of a Kinyan, a result of a Kinyan.
How can you have a Maisa of a Kinyan? How can you have a Maisa?
Again, when the husband gives a woman, a classical case, the husband gives money to the woman, he's really doing two things. It's not my words, because Shmuel Chaim said it. We learned for the last 6 months. He said like this, the same action, you're doing two actions. You're doing a Maisa Kicha, and in Maisa Kicha Dinim, for example, Chalipim, which is Kesef, but a Maisa Kicha is not Kesef. But in Maisa of Kinyan Kesef, like buying land, in that Maisa Kinyan, Chalipim it is. That's what we learned, that's where because we have two things happening in one shot by the classic case of Kiddushin. Now, we separate it. We say not only that both exist, but they work differently according to the mitzvah. This is the big Kiddush of today. The Kiddush of today, Parshas Porosh Mini 2019. What's the Kiddush of today of this Beis Medrash today? The Kiddush is Rabbi. I want to tell you the Kiddush of today. The Kiddush of today is that not only that I have two actions happening by a classical case of marriage, but they work different. The Maisa Kicha needs the husband to take the woman. And actually the woman, she's like, she just prepares herself to be taken. And she's not part of that. And the Bikhash says, but she needs 80 for that, it's part of the Shabbat, side problems, but really she's not really active there. But in the Maisa Kicha, it's all opposite. That the husband is zero according to the Gitva, and really the woman is not doing the whole thing. The receiving of the money for the sake of marriage, she does it all. And when I have a middle guy giving it, I don't need the Chiddush of it, Canaanite it works. It's common sense. Because the reference of Maisa Kinyan is the engine of a Kinyan acquisition is the receiver. I receive money for the sake of giving back. That's the engine of the acquisition.
That's usually a mamela for the woman accepting.
Yes, a mamela. It's a small, it's a simple small. It's a beautiful.
It's a mamela.
Again, you know what you're saying.
How can a mamela be an ikr?
What do you mean mamela? Define the word mamela.
That if she's receiving it, but she's passive, and passive is not active, and
very good.
Passive is an ikr.
But you heard what we said?
Yeah,
passive in the Maisa Kicha, but active in the Maisa Kinyan of Kiddushin. Two different things. Two different things. That's the Kiddush of today. The Kiddush of today is what?
Who quoted who?
Again. Until now, we said until 2019, Parshas Pora Adumo, Parshas Shmini, Yom Chamishi. We always learned for the last 5-6 months in the school, in the escuela, in the school of the Birkas Shmuel. Rabbi Levi actually said it. In the beginning, that's what we started. That really, we have in every classic Kiddushin, when the husband gives money to the woman, he's doing two things. He does a Maisa Kicha, and he does a Maisa Kinyan of Kiddushin, of Kesef Kiddushin. He says, what do you mean? You're talking words. What do you mean two things? Show me an Afkamina where's two things. So the famous case was Chalipin, the Sugi of Chalipin. Chalipin in Kol HaTorah Kula is a vessel. I exchange a vessel with somebody. I want to buy you shoes, I give you a handkerchief. When you get married, right? I give you a handkerchief to pick up. It's an exchange, you obligate yourself to Ksula. That's exchange. That's Chalipin. In the world of Chalipin, I can give even a vessel less than the value of put to the works. But in the world of my Sekich of Kiddushin, it's considered Kesef. But in the world of my Sekich of Kiddushin, Chalipin is not Kesef. When it is in Machlokes Rishonim, is out now, Rabbi Utam and others. But that's a side piece in the Rishonim there. But the big, beautiful case of the Chalipin we learned in Yeshiva for 4 weeks. I spent here 4 weeks. I made people crazy. Guys are not crazy. People got excited. I hope so. What we learned, this big Kiddush of the Sugya was, yes, the two things happen at the same time, but sometimes they overlap each other, but one sometimes bumps the other. That although from the world of my Sekinyan Kesef, Chalipin works, because considered Kesef, but in the world of my Sekicha, it doesn't work. Although I have it parallel together, but since I also have the my Sekicha, the my Sekicha doesn't work, it's out. It's bad. That's what the Kiddush we extended to the world of Bia, can the husband, can the father makes the woman child's bia, works, but he gets the money, which one? We extend it to Matonas La'achzi and along, and this concept is used all over Kiddushin, was proven to us everywhere. Comes Reb Shimon Shkop and he explains, I'll tell you the Chiddush of the Ritva. The Ritva's kasha against Rashi, that if the middle guy is an age of the husband, I don't have to come on to Evet Knaim. Why? You know why? Because there's two different things. The middle guy is an agent, means I can relate the action to the husband, so it's a ma'asekicha. But the middle guy cannot work as an agent for the acquisition. He's okay. The middle guy is like the husband, but the husband doesn't owe the money. How can you make an acquisition without owning it? Yes, the Ritva says I don't have to come on. I don't have to come on. Tevet Knaini b'kol ha'terekula. Because whoever's a ma'asekiyan kesef, Avkol ha'terekula is the receiver, receives the money for the sake of exchange, whatever he wants to exchange, marriage, selling land, shoes, whatever you want to do. The power, the engine that causes the acquisition is that when he receives the money, he has to give an exchange, or he has to give back the money. It's called kesef ha'choizer. This is the language of Yeshiva. It's called, it says, it's called, remember this word. We're going to learn it many times, but come in other places. Kesef ha'choizer. Kesef means the going back money. It's like ping pong. I give you money to buy you shoes. How does it work? If you don't give me back the shoes, you have to give me back the money. You owe me the money. So you don't want to owe the money. So as a payment, you give me the shoes. It's called kesef ha'choizer. Okay, that's how it works. That's what he says here. He used those words here because people don't know the philosophy of Shimon Shkop. He's saying it really here. He's saying when the woman received the money, was not a present from the middle guy, from the agent. He gave it the sake of Kiddushin, means all you meshabed, all your give over your body for Kiddushin, he'll give back the money.
So the guy's not out because he'll get the money back from the woman.
No, I don't need the guy.
No, the middle guy, if she does.
Yeah, the middle guy, if there's nothing to deliver marriage, he'll get back his money. Right, but there's nothing to do with the husband anymore. The acquisition is always a receiver. Obviously, if she got money from Hefker, so the money doesn't have any attachment to it. That she has to give this condition, or you give back whatever you want to sell, or give back the money. Nobody made that condition. But every acquisition, as if is built in that condition. When you go to a store and you give money, I want to buy this wafer, is a condition. If you don't give it away, you give back the money. That's how it works. So therefore, the engine has nothing to do with the giver. The giver just has to lay out the condition. But the giver is not part of the engine of the cause of why the seller gave you the wafer. The money, the debt of the money, is the power of why the seller gave you the wafer. Same thing is by Kiddushin. How Kiddushin works, this is a big Kiddush of today. The Kiddushin works, that's the Ritva's kasha. It says, if the middle guy is an agent, size out the problem of the ma'asekicha, because the middle guy is an agent of the husband, it's the ma'asekicha. Oh, what about ma'asekiyan kesef? Ma'asekiyan kesef will do it, I don't have to come into the knaini. And kula, the way it works is the receiver of the money with condition that is not a gift, it's just to give an exchange. That works. If somebody gave it with that condition, somebody made that condition in, threw the condition in, it works. But the condition is not part of, it's not mitztaref to the part of a ma'asekiyan of kesef. Adarabah, Rashi, that's why you don't have to come on to, that's why the Ritva is right, you don't have to come on to Evet Knaim. But Rashi that says no, that the ma'asekicha requires the husband, and also the ma'asekiyan kesef requires a husband, that the one that lays out the condition needs also to be the husband and not some an alien. That's a chiddush. Alien means to own the money. The middle guy owns the money. That's a chiddush. And that's the machlokes between Rashi and Ritva. Rashi holds that not only the ma'asekicha needs the husband, also the ma'asekiyan kesef needs the husband. Of kiyan kesef kol ha'terekula. And the Ritva says no, the ma'asekicha needs the husband, but the ma'asekiyan kesef kol ha'terekula, and also by Kiddushin, doesn't need the giver. It needs the receiver with a condition to give an exchange for the Kiddushin. That's the machlokes.
I found the Kiddush that Yeshiva saying in Shimon Shkop.
This is Shimon Shkop.
But he says it when there's no shlichus. Not when where is the reason?
No, because he wants to answer the Ritva's kasha. I'm answering you.
Where? Show me where.
I read like you for 2 weeks. Until I realized, no, it's wrong. Because he wants, I'm answering you. He wants to answer the Ritva's Kash against Rashi.
When the shlichus.
With Shlichus.
Wait, he said
So,
there was no shlichus.
listen.
We listen for a while.
When, I know you listen for an hour and a half, but I just want to this
Tell me where it is.
listen to the order of things. He has a Kasha against the Ritva that fights Rashi in Shlichus.
Shlichus.
And he answers in Shlichus where the Ritva and Rashi arguing. He's not explaining the Ritva's Pshat when there's no Shlichus how Evet Knaini works. That he doesn't talk about it. You can now give your own explanation. He only explains that this pivotal point, that according to Rashi, when the middle guy's an agent, you have to come on Evet Knaini. According to the Ritva, when the middle guy's an agent, you don't have to come on Evet Knaini. And he says why? Because if the middle guy agent, according to Ritva, you don't have to come on the Knaini because only the receiver. And according to Rashi, even the middle guy's an agent, you still have to come on that the husband, the Evet Knaini, because in the Kinyan Kesef, not only the receiver, it's also you have to mitzaref the giver that gives the Kiddushin. That's a big chiddush, but that's his whole point. Now, the Ritva himself that says that our Gemara to Medaber Evet Knaini is without an agent, you will explain that all this is being put in the Ritva that what? That the middle guy is an agent, but you don't need the middle guy to give over the Kinyan Kesef to the husband.
Can I ask a question?
That stays, that even according to the Ritva, you don't have to come, because that's how you have to do Rashi. So also the explanation of the Ritva himself, that the middle guy is not an agent, and that Evet Knaini fulfills, Evet Knaini will fulfill only the Maise Kicha, but not the Maise Kinyan Kesef. That's a guess.
Does that fit with the first shot in the Radbaz?
Again?
Does that fit with the Radbaz, first Radbaz?
Oh, now refers to what he said. Very good. Now I pushed them off. Now that people understand, I'll go into this kasha. This kasha is the Rashba's kasha. Very simple kasha.
The Radbaz,
The Rashba, yes.
I said the Radbaz.
Radbaz, I didn't come over now. I told you asking the Rashba. Where did he
That
say?
Ritva that you're explaining, how you explain
I'll explain the Radbaz in a
No, I was
second.
going to say, does that fit with the Radbaz, the first Radbaz?
The first of the Radbaz that says that Medibet el Knaini, you throw the money, and the money was not worth a pruto when she received it, was shove a pruto. So it's only receiving, not giving. And the Hamidin el Knaini that it works.